So welcome to Advanced Training, you guys. You guys had a baller first weekend, and I'm super excited just to be able to get to dive in with you guys here in the next couple of hours. So with that being said, first things first, I just want to go over some recognition for the week and your guys' awesome sales that you guys did. So Blake selling a homemaker set and an entertainer pack and a K-Bar Explorer to his parents, hitting his first promotion, making over $130 in income this week. Absolutely baller. So Blake, super proud of you, my man. Hit that first promotion, selling a couple homemaker sets. You're an absolute stud, my man. So one clap for Blake on three. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You earned it. You earned it. And then I got Eduardo putting up 6 orders, 2,170 CPO, tons of small orders, tons of homemakers, big sets, small sets, individual pieces, a little bit of everything, putting the most orders up on the board as well. And what I want you guys to notice about Eduardo's about his sales is that he pretty much has an average order. Company average order is 350. He's at 361. The reason why he was able to get so high in those sales is he did more demos, made more phone calls, and did more appointments than anybody else. Eduardo just outmuscled everyone. His closing percentage was through the roof this weekend, making a baller first paycheck as well. So I'm super excited for you guys and your guys' success this weekend. Blake getting close to hit 3K. Eduardo barely right there, so close to hitting that $3,000 promotion your guys' first weekend. Next thing I want to go ahead and dive into is I want to look at some national titles and some Silver Cup races. So what the Silver Cup is, the Silver Cup is our national title. It's the national trophy that you get when you're the #1 office in your category for the year. And I just want to let you guys in on a little secret. We are on the freaking comeback. We are on the comeback. And I'm so excited for this because, guys, we have a chance at winning a national title. We have a chance at winning a national title. We are the #8 office in the entire company right now. Every single phone call you guys make matters. Every single demo you guys do matters. Every single sale you make matters. Doesn't matter if it's a single veggie peeler or an entire Cutco kitchen. You guys freaking matter. Everything you guys do matters, and it contributes to our team. It contributes to our national standings and our national rankings as well. Our division has won over 23 national titles. Let's bring home the 24th, boys. Let's freaking do it. I am lit up and I am excited to dive into this. And I can't wait for us to be celebrating at the end of the year when we pass Alexander Sylvester. I actually know him. He's one of my close buddies. And Alex, if you see this, we're coming for you. I'm gonna send you this recording. Let's say watch the first 5 minutes. But I'm lit up and I'm super excited for you guys and for just really what's to come. So next thing I want to go ahead and dive into is I want to do a high and a low. So what was the high point of your guys' week, first week, and what was kind of like a low point? What were you like, this kind of sucked? So Blake, do you want to go ahead and start us off? What was the high? What was the low for you this weekend?
High was obviously selling the Homemaker 8 and the K-Bar and making that sale. Low, I would say, was probably trying to figure out the Zoom situation with my grandparents, and that ended up being a 2-hour meeting and there was no sale out of it. So it was obviously, it was frustrating. Like, it was good talking to my grandparents, but it was, a lot of effort restarting Zoom calls because I don't have a premium subscription, and then I had to run and get a charger like mid meetings and ended up going 2.5 hours or so. So that was definitely a little bit of the low point, but right after that, I made a sale that was pretty big. So that was nice.
Yeah, and I love that because some of your best days will come after your worst days. Some of your best demos will come right after your worst demos. And now that you have that experience of working with Zoom, knowing how it should work, how it should fit, and how it should really look and feel, now every single presentation you do from here on out, you'll know how to fix the Zoom issues. You'll know how to fix all that stuff. You'll know how to prepare and how to handle those objections and how to do those tech issues. So I'm actually really grateful that you had a really bad demo, because now you're going to be grateful for the good ones.
Yep. Trial and error.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We get better over time. Eduardo, what about you? What was a high and a low from your first weekend?
Well, the highs, were the sales. It was a really nice feeling whenever I got one. The lows, though, were a lot of like internet issues. Mm-hmm. And also a lot of the people that I was demoing already having Cutco as well. so they weren't like interested in getting anything. That was a little depressing.
Awesome. So, hey, cut count owners are some of the best people to see, and we're going to be diving into that in advanced training too. So come to AT2 and I'll be able to fix that for you. But being able to make this sale, dude, that feeling that you get, that's why I stayed here for so long. Just that adrenaline rush and like that happiness of just being able to be like, dude, I just freaking sold that. And I just did that accomplishment that I felt, just being able to go from scheduling them to doing the appointment to making the sale. I was just like, it just felt so complete. So I really like that as well. So with that being said, the next thing I want to go ahead and dive into is your fast start goals. And I just want to kind of review what you guys are shooting after and what you guys are wanting to do in your guys' fast start. I know everyone has busy schedules. Everyone's going after different goals. So with that being said, I just want to know what your guys' fast start goals are so I can better help train and teach you and coach you guys and really kind of push you guys to that point of where you want to go. My job is to help you guys hit your goals and help you guys make money. So with that being said, Eduardo, what is your fast start goal for your first 10 days?
I want to try to get to the 10,000 for the VIP night out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main goal.
Awesome, dude. And you wanna hear something? You wanna hear something pretty cool?
What?
You're right on pace to do it. You are on pace to do it. Your first 4 days on the job, you're at 2K. And it is going to be a marathon, not a sprint, but you gave yourself a very good head start and you gave yourself a very good lead. A lot of the $10,000 fast starters that I've coached in the past, they had very similar weekends, did a lot of demos, placed a lot of orders, sitting around 2 to 3K. But these next 4 days, like from Tuesday up until next weekend, these like 4 days, this middle week part is going to be your most crucial and your most important because your second weekend is always bigger than your first. So you had a big first weekend. So next weekend, now that you have the experience, the skills, have gone through advanced training, dude, you're going to rip the lid off. And it always comes down to the wire. It always comes down to the 10th day. So some conversations I'm going to be having with you is to not give up. Every single 10K fast starter I've ever coached has come down to the very last day, placing orders at 11:58, like turning in a late essay, just placing it right before to hit that level and to hit that mark. So $10,000, I love it. You're on pace to do it. And we're going to be talking about that here in a little bit too. So I love it. I love it. And with that VIP night, the limos are lit. Limos are lit. That's all I'm going to say. Limos are lit. Blake, what about you? What is your fast start goal?
I would say I'm a little unsure as of right now, given my schedule, but definitely to fit as many meetings as I can in that increment and get as much experience as I can. Obviously, with the advanced training going on at the same time, try to get comfortable with it at the very least, be comfortable in the job. If not making those massive goals as of right now, being busy, just gaining some more confidence with the job and confidence in myself, making those presentations.
Absolutely. And I think a good goal for you, just given your and mechanical engineering major and all the things that you got going on with your class load, with how many credit hours you're taking, I think like 4,500 would be a good level to get to. You'll be able to get the spatula spreader, the cheese knife, and like that's like a very big prize level. You get a lot of stuff at that level. So I think being able to get more Cutco into your hands will be cool too, to add to your personal collection. I think that $4,500 mark is probably a good spot for you to finish at. You're a fourth of the way there, and we got a fourth of we got 3/4 rest of our 10-day fast start available. So if you can do another 3 homemakers, you got it. So
I agree.
do you think that's a good goal? You think that's reasonable?
Yeah, it's a good goal.
All right, perfect. So now that we know our goal, next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is how to build our business up. So I want you guys to go ahead and title this top 50 list. Our top 50 list. Our top 50 list. So this entire business is built off names and numbers. So if you guys want to think of it kind of like a house, your foundation is the names and numbers, right? We have closing, phoning, recommendations as kind of like the pillars. But what happens when you build a house on a really bad foundation? What happens to that house? It folds, it crumbles, it slides off the hill, whatever might happen to it, right? So everything else that we do in the business will be based off our names list. I can't teach you phoning skills if you have no one to call. If you have no one to call, I can't teach you demo skills because then you aren't doing demos and it doesn't make sense for me to teach you that. I can't teach you recommendations and referrals because you don't have demos, right? So everything is kind of based on this foundation of names list. So what I want you guys to go ahead and jot down in your notes is top 50. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to write 1 through 10. I want you to do it 5 times. So 1 through 10, and then you're gonna do 21 through 30. And I want you to come up with 50. I want you to number your page 1 through 50, basically. And what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna throw some thought joggers at you guys of people that you guys could potentially do presentations for. And I want the pen to be going. I want the pen to be active. I don't want it to stop. Now that you guys have done a couple of presentations and you kind of have that good feel and understanding of who buys Cutco and how the presentations work, I always like doing this activity again because you're like, oh, I can add this person or whatever. And so the goal of this activity is to try to write down as many people as you possibly can. If you can't get to that 50 mark, that's okay. We'll be diving into filling that out throughout your guys' advanced training process as well. So with that being said, do you guys have your pages numbered 1 through 50 while I was talking? Still working on it. Perfect. I'll give you guys a second and I'll just talk and ramble. I'll just talk and ramble for a little bit. And just give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready to go. Eduardo, thank you. Blake, thank you. Perfect. All right. So same rules apply as in training. I don't want the pen to stop. If I say someone's name, I want you to write it down. I don't care about past whatevers and whoever that was, whoever did the whatever, right? I want you guys just writing down as many people as you can. So first thing, who is the nicest person that you guys know? Who is the nicest person in your guys' high school? Who is that one person where like something terrible could happen to them and they would still have a smile on their face? Who's that person? Go ahead and write that person down. Next, who is on your guys' sports teams? Who is on your guys' football team? Who is on your guys' basketball team? Who is on your guys' soccer teams? Who do you guys play sports with? I want you to write their names down. And then I want you to message them, ask them for their parents' numbers, which we're going to be diving into here in a little bit too. So how many of your guys' friends can you write down and get their parents' numbers? So I wrote down my entire basketball team, my entire soccer team, my entire track team. So for football, what about your entire offensive line? What about your defensive line? What about your special teams, right? If you're on the basketball team, who are the 12 people that are on your team? What about the JV kids? Who is like your favorite freshman? Who's that freshman you just bullied around? You're like, hey, you're mine. Right? I'm your dad now, right? Who is that freshman to you guys? Start thinking a little bit bigger, opening it up a little bit. What about the other people that played sports? So what about people on like the women's volleyball team, the women's basketball team? Who do you guys know from those teams? What about the tennis team, the softball team? Softball moms love Cutco. Softball moms love Cutco. Can't tell you how many softball moms I've sold to. Who was on the Palms team? The Palms moms? Palms moms were my favorite group of people. I did one presentation for one of the Palms moms, and she recommended me to all 20 of the other moms. She had a group chat, and she just sent all their numbers to me. I sold about like 8 or 9K to those 20 people, to the Palms moms. So who played other sports? What about the people on your guys' team, or what about the people in your guys' high school that didn't play sports, but every single time they were in the front row, they were in the bleachers, they were cheering you on? Who were your biggest supporters? For me, that's Johnny Bain. Johnny Bain, he was the most rowdy person at our basketball games. I can't tell you how many basketball games he got kicked out of because he was cheering so loud for us and he would be running on the court acting a fool. I did a presentation for him and his parents, and they ended up buying an all-knife set. It was fire. So who are you guys' biggest supporters? Who were the sophomores? Who were the juniors? Who were the freshmen when you guys were seniors? Who were the underclassmen that you guys really liked, that you guys talked to a lot or may still talk to, that you could show a presentation to their parents? I loved our junior class when I was a senior. Our junior class was the shit. I loved them. So I wrote down a lot of people in the junior class. Also, all the freshmen on the basketball team, I loved them too. All the bus rides kicking in with the freshmen, it was the best. So who's your favorite freshman? Who's your favorite sophomore? Who's your favorite junior? Now thinking kind of a little bit bigger, moving out of our high school, who are the people that went to your rival high schools? Who are the people that went to your rival high schools that you played ball against, that you played sports against? Or you may have like gone to middle school with them or like elementary school, but you guys just ended up going to different ways, different paths. But anytime that you guys talked or hung out, they were cool people. I had a ton of friends that went to Pine Creek. I had a ton of friends that went to Liberty, Air Academy. I had a ton of friends that went to Palmer Ridge, that went to different schools than me, but we grew up together. So what about those people? What about the rival high school and like their sports teams, or the rival high schools and the people who you just know that went there? What about those people? What about those friends that you like really only see like once a year and you just like party with them and hang out? That was me and my Rampart friends. Everyone from Rampart. I went to middle school down there, and then I went up to Lewis Palmer for high school. All my Rampart buddies, I only saw them like once a year, and every time we saw each other, it was a celebration and we would throw down. So what about your friends from other high schools? Now kind of broadening that scope a little bit. Who are some people that were very influential in your life? Who are those teachers, those coaches, those mentors, those people from religious organizations that had a very big impact on who you are today? I wrote down all my basketball coaches from like little league all the way up to my college. So I was like my YMCA coach, my club coach, my middle school coach, my travel team coach, my high school, college. So who are those people? What about your guys' favorite teachers? Miss Thompson, Coach Tupper, Miss Rank, Mr. Swanson. Miss Mo, Mama Mo, she was the best. I did presentations for all those people, all those teachers. What about any mentors you've had in your life? What about somebody like your guys' weight coaches? I went to a third-party weightlifting gym, and I did a presentation for one of my coach, Ryan Parsons. I did a presentation for him. He pushed me mentally and physically. And I was like, I know you eat a lot. So here's some Cutco. And then lastly, what about family friends? Who do you guys go out to barbecues with? Where do you guys go for 4th of July? Where do you guys go for Labor Day? Who has the really nice boat that your parents always talk about? Who do your parents hang out with? Right? Every Wednesday, my mom gets sushi with her sushi friends. Every Sunday, my dad goes golfing with his buddies. Right? So what about those people? Who do your parents hang out with? Who do your parents talk to? What about that aunt or uncle that you call aunt or uncle for some reason, but they're not related to you, but you call them uncle and aunt for some reason? I got an Uncle Jim. Uncle Jim is white as snow. He is not my uncle, but I call him uncle for some reason, right? So what about those people? And then lastly, social media. Who do you guys follow on social media? Social media is going to be your biggest and best friend in building your names list. Everyone's on Instagram, everyone's on Snapchat, everyone's on Twitter. So what I want you guys to go ahead and do is pull out your guys' phones. Look at your Instagram. Who liked your most recent post? Right? Write some of those people down. When I did that, I was like, oh, I forgot about this person and this person and this person. But what about this person? So who's following you guys on social medias? Who do you guys Snapchat and talk to on a daily basis? I'm not sure if you guys still do Snapchat streaks, but I do. I talked to about 20 to 25 people a day on the regular. Those are my dogs. What about those people? I want you guys to write those people down. Who's constantly posting on their Snapchat story? Who's constantly posting on their Instagram story? Who's constantly sending you memes? Write those people down. Who's your best friend from high school? Write them down. Who's the funniest person in your high school or your college? Write them down. I forgot about college. Who's in your college dorm room? Who's in the halls? Write down those people.
I'll put you down. Who likes my latest photo?
I don't count. I don't count. I love it though. I like the energy. I like the energy. What about people that you've worked with in like past jobs? What about their parents? Who do you know that has the really nice house? Who do you know that has?
Christian.
Huh?
Christian. He got a fat old mansion.
Hey, you know what? He starts on the 16th, so you got to do it before the 16th. I love it.
When do you guys start training for them?
Start 12 to 7, same times as you guys. 12 to 7, 5.
The weekends?
Yep. So same times as you, but this week. Who do you know that drives the really fancy car? Write them down. Who doesn't drive the fancy car or live in the big house, but who do you know that travels all the time? You never know what people are spending their money on. All right, I'm going to give you guys like 30 more seconds to work on this, then we need to move on. As I'm giving you guys this 30 seconds, I'm going to talk through it. Guys, this top 50 list is always in work. I've done this top 50 list about 10 times in my Cutco career. So you're always expanding on it, always adding on to it. It's never complete. It's never finished. We're constantly thinking of new people that we could add to this list. But this top 50 list right here is going to be your bread and butter for the rest of your guys' fast start. It's going to be the bread and butter for your first month on the job, and so you can build those recommendation skills up. Awesome. Eduardo, how many were you able to add onto your list?
Sorta.
How many were you able to add?
I was able to add like 20 more than what I had last time.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's try to get to that 50 mark. Let's try to get to that 50 mark. I love it. Blake, what about you? How many people were you able to add?
I'm at 37 right now.
I love it. You guys are rock stars. So keep working on this list. Keep working on this list. It's never done. I'll be asking you guys like, hey, have you finished your top 50 yet? Have you finished your top 50 yet? I'll be asking you guys throughout the week. So I just wanted to get it started with you guys, get you guys the brain flowing and the ideas. So you guys can go ahead and turn to a new page in your notes. And I want you to title this Chicken List. Chicken List. This is your chicken list of people. So before I dive in, so thumbs up, you guys got your note pages titled Chicken List? Perfect. So what the chicken list is, it's the list of customers and the list of people that you're a little too chicken to give a call to. That's our chicken list. So for me, I only had 2 people on my chicken list. I'm a pretty outgoing person. I have good relationships with a lot of people, but I had 2 people on my list that I was terrified to give a call to. First one was Rex Reed. Rex Reed lived 2 doors down from me, and he was an ex-Marine. Man was built like a G.I. Joe. He walked like sideways through doors, had the buzz cut. He was like 6'2", all yadded up. Like he was like definition textbook Marine. And like when I'd be driving home from practice, I'd be playing my music and he'd be like watering his lawn and he'd like spray my car, be like, turn it down. Or like, he'd be like, don't park in front of my house. Like he was like so mean to me, but my parents loved him. My dad and Rex kicked it off. They would always like be talking about like lawnmowers and like grilling and like whatever. Like they would go and talk in front of the house for hours. My dad loved Rex. My mom loved Michelle. Michelle's Rex's wife. They would talk all the time. And I was like, Mom, you are talking to the enemy. I was like, I do not like him. And I was so scared of him. I did not want to talk to him or his wife. I wanted nothing to do with it. I came to my mom and I was like, Mom, I need help rebuilding my names list. I'm in a huge competition right now. Who do you think we could add? She goes, oh, I just got inside talking from Rex and Michelle. Do you want to go do a presentation for them? And I was like, no, not at all. Anyone else? And she goes, Trey, you have 2 options. Either one, you walk over there and ask them to do a presentation, or your second option is you don't do it and you're grounded. And I said, what? I said, what? She said, those are your 2 options. What are you going to do? So I walked over to the house. I knocked on the door. I said my phoning approach to him right then and there. And Rex and Melissa said, sure. You want to do it right now? And I was like, sure. Grabbed my computer, did a presentation for them. They actually ended up buying a red Homemaker Plus 8 and got a free pair of Super Shears. And I was terrified to do a presentation with them. One of the coolest people I ever met, but I was terrified of Rex. I was so scared. Like I'd rather do anything else but that. And if my mom didn't threaten to ground me, I wouldn't have done it. I would have missed out on that sale and someone else could have sold him that Homemaker set. So I'm glad that I got to him first. The second person on my list was Laura Marshall. Laura Marshall was Keely Marshall's mom. Keely Marshall is my ex-girlfriend. And yeah, it was my ex-girlfriend's mom. It was my ex-girlfriend's mom. And I was also in the middle of a big competition. And I said, I need to add people onto my list. You only live once. Worst thing that they can say is no. Picked up the phone, called Miss Marshall, and she was so happy to speak to me. I was shook. She was like, oh, Trey, how have you been? Like, how are you? Like, yes, anything you need. And I was like, okay. I booked the appointment. I did the presentation, ended up selling them a black Homemaker Plus 8 with a engraved pair of Super Shears to say the Marshalls. So the 2 people I had on my chicken list were my 2 biggest sales, both bought Homemaker sets. What I found out is that when my goals become bigger than my fears, that's when I gave them a call, that's when I sold, and that's when you call people on your chicken list. So what I want you guys to go ahead and do is number your chicken list 1 through 5, and I want you to write 5 people down that you are just terrified to give a call to. Who are you just so nervous, so like, I would rather do anything but that. Anything but call them. Like thinking about calling them, like my knees are shaking. Who are those people that you guys are nervous to give a call to? And we're not going to call them today. We're not going to call them tomorrow. But when your guys' goals get bigger than your guys' fears, that's when you call people on your chicken list. That's when you throw it in the bucket and move on and make that phone call. So I want you guys to go ahead, take a second. I want you to jot some people down that you're a little scared to give a call to. Awesome. Can I get a thumbs up when you guys have at least 5 people on that chicken list? Blake's like, I'm not scared of no one. I'm not
I
scared
don't
of
know.
no one. Awesome. I love it. So next thing we're going to go ahead and talk about is demo skills. So demo skills, we're going to talk about dropping down and the philosophy of dropping down. Talk about the philosophy of dropping down slowly. And why that's so important. Let's go ahead and title that dropping down. So we briefly talked about this in training, but I want to do a deeper dive into this as well. So dropping down, first thing I want you guys to go ahead and write down is the rule of 7. Who remembers the rule of 7 from training? Only Eduardo? Perfect. So let's go ahead and dive into the rule of 7. So a study was done at Penn State, and they were diving into the philosophy and the psychology behind sales. They were seeing how many times does it take someone to get asked to buy something before they say yes. And what they found is that everyone is on a scale between 1 to 7. Some people are 1s. You only need to ask them one time, and those are the people who they see it, they like it, they buy it. Some people are 7s. They need to be asked multiple times. They're a little bit more cautious. They need more knowledge and need to see more things before they make a definite yes or no decision on if they want to get something. So your customers will fall on this scale between 1 to 7. You might need to ask them once to buy and they will. You might need to ask your customers 7 times to buy. And that 7th time, that might be that time. But your guys' job is to cater to your guys' customers' needs. Some people are 7s, right? You need to cater to that. You're gonna have to do the entire presentation and ask them 7 times. Some of your customers are 3s or 4s or 6s or 1s. And it's your job to find out what they are on a scale from 1 to 7. So for example, my dad, hardcore 1. Hardcore 1. That's why I think I get my 1 from, because I'm also a 1. My dad, I did a presentation for him. I was like, Dad, this is our homemaker set. Do you want to buy it? He's like, sure. It's like, cool. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. And then I went over to Mom. I said, Mom, do you want to buy it? She's like, no, 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 no. I had to drop all the way down. My mom ended up getting a pair of super shears and a trimmer. That was it. That was it. So my mom's 7, Dad's a 1, right? Both are okay. Both still made the sale, but it just finding that range. So throughout the presentation, you will ask for the order 7 times. I want you to write that down. Ask for the order 7 times. You need to ask your customer every single time to buy, or it's a sign of disrespect. It's a sign of disrespect because you don't ask them to buy. That means that we think that they can't afford it, and then your customer feels that, and they're like, I can afford it, I just don't want it. You're just being a dickhead, right? So we want to be respectful to our customers, and we want to ask every single time to buy because it's a sign of respect, right? So it's like when you guys walk into the store and like the lady comes up and like, hey, do you guys need help with anything? And you're like, no, it's okay. Knowing damn well you can't even afford like the rack that the clothes are hanging on, right? So Cutco took this philosophy and this idea, this rule of 7, and we implemented it. Anyway, we took it into our demo. We put it in our demo. So throughout your entire presentation, you will ask for the order 7 times. So I want you guys to number your page 1 through 7. The first time you ask for the order will be the homemaker plus 8. Will be the homemaker plus 8. It's the first order, first time you ask for the order. The second will be the galley and the galley plus 6. The third time you ask will be the starter sets. The fourth time you ask will be the pick 5 special. The 6th time will be the buy 3, get the 4th free. The 6th time will be the gadget special. Spend over $170, get a free gadget of choice. So it'll be the gadget special. And then the 7th time you ask will be a reserve the buy now bonus. Ta-da, our magic number 7. So you will ask your customer 7 times to buy. Now, the way I want you guys thinking about this process and asking 7 times is I want you to feel or think about it like walking down a flight of stairs, right? You're not going to go from like the top of the stairs and jump all the way to the bottom, right? You don't do that. Maybe as a kid, you put a hole in the wall, you break the railing, mom gets mad, never do it again, right? So same thing with here. You take it one step at a time. And whatever your customer's comfort level is, if they're like a 3 or a 4 and they want to get that, you high five, hug it out, place the order, right? If they're a 7, cool, high five, smile, hug it out, place the order. So with that being said, we want to take it one step at a time. Because if we go straight from a homemaker set to a single trimmer, it's too big of a gap. Doesn't make sense, right? How are you going to ask them to spend $14.19 and then $82? That doesn't make sense. So you need to drop down slowly to keep that value. Next demo skill I want to go ahead and talk about is objections. How to handle objections. So I'm about to teach you guys how to get whatever you want, whenever you want, from whoever you want. This is a Cutco skill and also a life skill. Handling objections is my favorite thing ever. So what an objection is a request for more information. I want you guys to write that down. An objection is a request for more information. So when Eduardo goes up to his mom and says, "Mom, can I go hang out with Blake for a little bit?" And his mom says, "No. Have you done your chores? Walked the dog, cleaned the roof, whatever," and gives like, when are you going to be there? Who's going to be there? What are you guys doing? What are you, when are you coming home? When are you leaving? Those are all objections, right? Is Eduardo just going to say, "Okay, you were right, bye," and just like close his computer lid or walk away from mom? He's going to say no. Say, "Mom, I'm going to go to Blake's house. We're going to play some 2K. I'm leaving in 30 minutes. I'll be home by 9:30. I walked the dog, took out the trash, did the dishes, and my bed is made and the roof is clean. Now can I go?" She's going to say, "Yeah, sure. Bye." The only thing that changed was the amount of information we gave her. So it's the same thing with an objection. So there's 4 parts into handling an objection and 4 parts into building an objection. So the first part is agree with your customer. Agree with your customer. I completely understand. People want to feel related to. Have you guys ever been in an argument and someone was like, "You are so stupid for thinking that. I can't believe you would ever think that." And then they say a bunch of other stuff, but you're still hung up that they called you stupid. Have you guys ever been there? I've been there, right? And so like that disagreement, you don't hear anything else past that. So we want to agree. When we agree, it drops down the walls and they're more open to listening. So I completely understand. Part 2 is going to be a transition. It's going to be but, however, what our customers have found, whatever it might be. So you're just going to put a transition. Part 3 into handling objections and to building an objection is going to be tell the truth or give an alternate opinion. Tell the truth or give an alternate opinion. And then part number 4 is going to be ask for the order. Ask for the order. So if your customer says that the homemaker set is too much, I completely understand. $14.19 is all a lot to pay for at once. That's why most of our customers split it up over 5 months interest free. So it'd only be $309 today. How does that sound? We agreed, put a transition word, told the truth, asked for the order. That is how every single one of our objections in your script is handled. I completely understand. Transition, telling the truth, and a but or however. So when you guys go and look and read your objections tab and your objection script, it follows that exact same format. Now, this is not only a Cutco skill, this is also a life skill. This is the best way to get anything you want from anyone you want whenever you want it, right? So you guys know I've never got a speeding ticket before. Never got a speeding ticket. Every time I've been pulled over, I use this objection cycle. All right. If you guys do get a ticket and use this the wrong way, I'm not liable. I'm not paying for it. All right. There's just a little disclaimer. All right. So here's how it goes. Officer comes, knocks on my window, asks me to roll it down. He says, "Do you know why I pulled you over today?" I said, "Yes, officer. I completely understand why you pulled me over. If I were you, I would have pulled me over too. I was going a little bit too fast. But I'm actually heading to my very first Cutco appointment, and I want to make a really good first impression, and I'm already running a little bit late, and this just made me way later, and I really want to make a great first impression. So if you just let me off with this warning, I promise I will never speed on your roads ever again." How does that sound? Right? He's gonna, like, his jaw is gonna drop to the floor. What do most people say? "Oh, I don't know. Why'd you pull me over? You're going 16 to 30. That's why." Right? Being able to tell the truth and relate and having them drop that wall and being able to have that objection cycle is going to be huge. So you can use that in real world, personal, business. That is a Cutco skill and a life skill, is being able to handle objections. Next thing I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys is I'm going to teach you guys how to sell a set every single time you guys do a demo. I'm going to teach you guys how to sell a set every single time you guys do a demo. We call this the secret weapon. So I want you guys to go ahead and title this in your notes, the secret weapon. And ooh, this is my favorite thing ever. The secret weapon is lit. The secret weapon is lit. You guys are going to be mad at me that I didn't teach you guys this in training. You're like, why the fuck? Fuck this guy. But this is the secret weapon. We also call it a trade-in special. Here's how it goes. You say, "Mrs. Jones, if you throw away or donate one of your junking knives to Goodwill, I can give you an incredible deal on Cutco." Mrs. Jones, if you throw away or donate one of your junky knives to Goodwill, I can give you an incredible deal on Cutco. Mrs. Jones, if you throw away or donate one of your knives to Goodwill, I can give you an incredible deal on Cutco. I'll say it one more time for the one time. Mrs. Jones, if you throw away or donate one of your knives to Goodwill, I can give you an incredible deal on Cutco. So we call it a trade-in because they're trading in their old crappy knives and they're getting Cutco back. So who here this weekend had a customer who was like, "Oh, I already have really nice knives. I don't need any Cutco." Do you guys have anyone like that? No, no one did? Oh, I had objection so many times when I first started. That made me mad. So you're going to use that when someone says that they already have nice knives. So that's a great way to handle that objection. Or if someone really likes a set, but the price is a little bit too much. Do you guys have that this weekend? They're like, "I really want to get this set, but the price is just a little bit too heavy." Perfect. So I'm going to teach you guys how to write this up in your Cutco Orders app. So when you go to your interactive demo and then click on the shop tab, it'll take you to this slide right here. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to slide down and we're going to go to B block sets. So you can do this trade-in special with any block set, So what do you guys notice about these block sets that are different from our other ones? What do you notice about these ones? What's different?
They don't have any table knives.
Correct. They don't have any table knives. That's exactly right. So what your customers are going to do is they're going to get a basic, they're going to get a Homemaker Plus 8 for the price of a basic Homemaker set, or a Studio Plus 4 for the price of a Studio. So we're going to use the Homemaker for an example. The price of our Homemaker set, our Homemaker Plus 8, $14.19. Our basic Homemaker without the table knives, $11.22. So this is a basic Homemaker and a Homemaker Plus 8 block. So it has the slot for those extra table knives. So what we're going to do is we're going to add that to cart. We're going to search up table knife, change the quantity to 8, add it to cart, and then we're going to bonus that off. So what that ends up happening is your customers get a homemaker plus 8 for the price of a regular homemaker set, and it is a 20% off discount. So we can drop that homemaker price by 20%, which is fire. And the best part is you guys can do this on any block set that you want. So even let's say your customer really likes a studio set and they are really liking it, but they're just a little pinched on money. What we can do is the same thing. And it's even a better value. It's a 23% discount on our Studio Plus 4. So they get the Studio Plus 4 for the price of a Studio. On a 5-pay, they're only paying $96 today, less than $100. And they're getting a Studio Plus 4.
What do you look up on there to get those sets to show up without the knives?
So you're going to go to your shop tab. So we're in our shop tab right now, and we're going to scroll down, and it's going to be titled B block sets.
Okay, sounds
and
good.
all those B block sets are there. So we can do this with Signature, Ultimate, Homemaker, Galley, Essential, Studio, any block set that you guys want, or any block set that your customer wants, you guys can discount those table knives off for free. Now, I got a quick story to tell you guys. This is about Andrew Phillips. Andrew Phillips, in his first weekend, he sold 1 spatula spreader to his grandma because she felt bad that he hadn't gotten any sales. And it was right before advanced training. After advanced training, he learned this trade-in special and his mind was blown. He was like, dude, I could do this. Like I can like get these sets off at discounted prices. I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, go for it. He goes, dude, I'm going to sell so much. His next 4 demos that he did, signature set, galley. He sold 2 signature sets and 2 galleys back to back. He went from having a $68 weekend to a almost 4K week like that after learning this trade-in special and learning this secret weapon. Every single time I was talking to him, he was like, trade in, sold a trade-in. And he was lighting it up and he was so excited. He actually ended up finishing the summertime at over I think $19,000 in sales. And he ended up selling more signature sets than he did homemaker sets. And it was insane. And every single time, trade in. So when do you use the secret weapon? You'll use it in 2 instances. One, if the customer already has crappy knives, or if the customer already has nice knives and they don't want to get rid of them, it's just an extra excuse to get rid of them. Donate them or throw them away. We can give you an incredible deal on Cutco. Like, oh, okay, incredible deal just for throwing away one of my crappy table knives. I'll do that, right? Or if one of your customers really wants a certain set, but just can't afford it. So a key phrase would be like, oh, I really, really like this. I really want to, but I'm not sure if I can do it today. The price is a little bit too much. Those are going to be the 2 instances and 2 times where you use this secret weapon. So now, have you guys played poker before? Show of hands. You guys played poker before? Eduardo, you never played poker? All right. So the whole point of poker, you don't want to show your cards too early, right? So we don't want to be showing the secret weapon too early. So if they say no to the homemaker set, you don't want to be like, oh, we have the secret weapon. We have this trade-in special where you can do this and I can give you an insane discount. If they're still like, no, still too much. Now, when we drop down to the galley set, they're going to be like, why is the galley set this much when I can get it at a discounted price? Right? It just doesn't make sense and it kind of throws off the presentation a little bit. So you don't want to show your cards too early. You don't want to bring that secret weapon out too soon. You want to show it on a set that they really, really like, that they're really on the fence about, and they just need that slight push over. So thumbs up if that makes sense. Cool. So the next thing that we're going to go ahead and dive into is we're going to dive into phoning skills. We're going to dive into phoning skills. So you can title this Tips for the Phone. You can title this Tips for the Phone. Tips for the phone. So the first thing I want you to write down is phone time equals money time. Phone time equals money time. Phone time equals money time. The more you make phone calls, the more money you make. We get paid off our presentations and what we sell. And if we don't have any presentations, we can't sell anything, right? So your money is really made on the phone. My biggest tip, trick, and secret and biggest cheat code to this game that we call Cutco is fall in love with the phones. Fall in love with the phones. The more you guys like phoning, the more phone calls you make, the more demos you book. The more demos you book, the more recommendations you get. The more recommendations you get, the more demos you can book, and it starts that whole cycle over again. So the more you guys fall in love with the phones, the more money you guys will make. Guys, we are from the same neighborhoods. We talk to the same people, know the same people. The only difference between you guys and me is I made more phone calls and I did more demos. And I started earlier. That is the only difference between you guys and me. The only difference is time. Time and the amount of phone calls. Give both of you guys the same amount of time I've had, I know you guys would probably pass me up in sales. You guys would probably pass me up in sales. You guys would probably be running the division at that point, right? So phone time equals work time. So kind of diving into more tips for the phone is two things. The one, follow the script. Follow the script. I want you to circle it, highlight it, star it, put your favorite cuss word in front of it. I don't care. You will follow that script word for word, bar for bar, verse for verse. If you follow that script word for word, bar for bar, verse for verse, you will have success. Guys, we've been doing this job for the past 74 years. We've been doing this job for 74 years. The script is perfect. The programs are perfect. You guys just need to smile, hit dial, and read your script. That's all you guys need to do. The script is perfect. The same script that you guys are reading right now is the same script I was reading when I first started. It is chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. I love it. The script works. The script works. Who here this weekend in their demo followed the script and made a sale? And you were like, holy shit, this actually works. Yeah. So if it works for sales for the demo, do you think it works for booking appointments too? Absolutely. So read that script word for word, bar for bar, verse for verse, and you will not fail. Next is always give a choice of 2 times. Ask yes or yes questions. Ask yes or yes questions. Please, for the love of God, do not say, when can I show you? Or do you want to see my presentation? When I hear reps say that, I want to bang my head against the wall and I want to jump off a bridge. It's the worst possible thing you could possibly do. Give them a choice of 2 times. Thursday at 6 or Thursday at 8. Which is better for you? Or what day is better? Thursday or Friday? 6:30 or 8:30? What time is best? Ask yes or yes questions. And I always like to give the analogy. When you ask your girlfriend, where do you want to go out to eat? She's like, I don't know, wherever you want to go. Like, do you want to go out to Chipotle? She's like, no. You want to go to Fuzzy's? No. Well, they said you didn't care. Well, I don't. Then let's go to Chipotle. Right? It's like irritating. It's so much frustrating, right?
It's terrible.
Who's been there? Like, show of hands, have you guys ever been there? It's the worst, right? So imagine that conversation going, hey, do you want Chipotle or McDonald's? Those are your 2 options. Those are your 2 choices. What do you want? Cool. Same idea, same concept. Give a choice of 2 times. You'll be able to get to that point a lot quicker. Next is stress the fact that it's not a question of buying or selling. Who on the phone this weekend told you guys, I'm not going to buy anything, but you can show me? Show of hands. No one said that on the phone to you guys this weekend? That's crazy. I got that all the time. So stress the fact it's not a matter of buying or selling. Just like, hey, I just need to get as many appointments as I possibly can. And I get paid anyway. And then lastly, the last 2 I want to go over is urgency and importance. Let your customers know that you have a goal. Let them know you're committed to your deadline, and let them know how important it is to you. If they know how important it is to you, they will be way less likely to cancel. They'll be way less likely to reschedule, and they'll be way more likely to show up once you show them the importance and the urgency. So with that being said, what I need you guys to go ahead and do is pull up your phones, pull up your scripts, pull up your calendars, and we're going to go ahead and dive into a phone jam. And that's how we're going to end advanced training.